Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to episode 155 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the week of June 23rd, 2017. I am Kris Randazzo, and joining me as always is 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS, Dan Ryan.
I think I'm super offended by that.
Look at this car!
See, I thought that was going to be your reaction. Fuck you. Welcome back, but fuck you.
I was away last week, so I'm not only going to be sharing my E3 thoughts, but my reactions to Dan and Tiff's reactions. It's a react-a-palooza. Before we go any further, here's your weekly reminder that you can email us at mail@geekade.com. Just include Stone Age Gamer Podcast in the subject line, and let us know what you think of the show, what topics you would like us to discuss in the future, or just say hello, because we always want to hear from you, the listener. I'm going to go ahead and say that, I got some fancy new situation here. I finally moved into my new house. My wife is no longer a prisoner in the bedroom while I record. She has the whole top part of the house to herself.
Nope, she's a prisoner in the bedroom when you get back upstairs. Am I right, Kris? Come on now.
No, you are not right.
No, I'm not? Oh, okay. All right, sorry.
So I am lounging comfortably on a couch right now, which is very different from what I'm used to doing. It is quite the situation. So Dan, what's new with you?
Oh, nothing much. Just some stuff. I did. I figured, why not? I had not very much extra time this week, but a couple of extra minutes. So I was like, let me go ahead and check out this PlayStation Now thing that all the kids are talking about. It's all the rage all over the internets, and it's their streaming service.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck it, I got Fios. Let's see what this is like, and it's way too expensive for the content that's there. I mean, there's like 500 plus games or whatever that's there, but not all of them are barn burners. But damn it if it doesn't work really fucking well. Like, really surprisingly well. I'm playing, I fired up God of War Ascension, which is one of the only God of War title that I haven't finished yet, and I was like, oh, let me see how this goes. And the very first fucking battle in that game is against the Hecatoncheires. And the Hecatoncheires was the, 100-armed man with like all the fucking hand, like it's just there's a lot going on. There's a lot of graphical processing happening at that moment, and played as if it was coming off the disc. Like not a hitch, not a hiccup. It's weird to be streaming the games, but it works really, really well. Like I also played a fair bit of Hot Shots Golf, and there's not a lot of processing power going on in that one, so I wasn't super impressed with that. But, playing through God of War, I was like, oh, this is pretty fucking sweet. And if they can ever get a larger selection of games to where the $19.99 a month is worth it, it's really fucking cool.
It's a really cool idea for a service. I dig it.
Like, it really does come down to the game choice, though, because, like, the big games that are on there, like, they have Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. They have The Last of Us and the little side one that came out for that. They have, like, Red Dead Redemption. They have all the God of War games. They have most of the Ratchet and Clanks and Sly Coopers and whatnot. But, like, once you start to fall away from that, it's like, okay, like, I suppose I could go play Mortal Kombat, but I don't wanna. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I could play Ultra Street Fighter 4, but like everybody's playing Street Fighter 5, so
yeah,
nah.
I prefer Street Fighter 4.
Well, I do too, but like the online community for that has certainly died down quite a bit. Yes, it is. You know what I mean?
Dwindled a tad. Yes.
Yeah. So, if they could ever get, and like that's the thing, it's PS3, PS2 titles on there. So like if they could ever go back and, well, actually I don't even think it's PS2, it's PS3 only. So if they could ever include some PS4 games in there, then that might start being worth the $20 a month. But it was free for 7 days, so fuck it.
Yeah. PS2 games even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've just been playing ARMS. Unpacking. Whenever I get a chance to play games, I've been playing a little bit of ARMS. I finally bought the day ARMS came out, I bought that, and I bought Mario Kart for Switch. I wound up getting the physical version because I could use my store credit at Level Up on it instead of using real people money to buy it digitally. So I mean, the reason I wanted to buy it digitally is I always wanted it with me, and then I thought to myself, well, my Switch is never going anywhere without the carrying case, and the carrying case holds the games because they're like chips. So, fuck it, I have Mario Kart, and it's great. It's Mario Kart. I messed around with battle mode, and it's just the battle mode's fantastic. But other than that, it's just Mario Kart 8, which is nothing wrong with that. I just have it on another system now, so yay me.
ARMS is good. Is it?
ARMS is great. I'm really enjoying it. I was kind of confused a lot by the demo. I remember it being like really happy with it, and I didn't really feel as in control over it. But I'm starting to get the hang of it now. Like I played through the story mode on. There's like 10 levels of difficulty, so I played through it on level 1 and level 2. And then I jumped up to level 4, and I can't get past the first guy yet, which is nice because I'm starting to learn. Like I was starting to think, oh, I got the hang of this, and now I'm playing against this guy, and like I don't have the hang of this.
Right, you're just like I'm breezing through this, and then like, oh fuck, no, I'm not. Never mind.
Yeah,
game's actually hard. I have to think now.
It's very reactionary. It does certainly have a small twinge of Punch Out to it. Like in the way I'm still trying to figure it out. So one of the ways I'm trying to look at it is almost like the way I play Punch Out, where it's like, kind of reacting to what the other guy's doing, but it's so much less of a puzzle game than Punch Out. Where everything is pretty scripted and it's like just kind of figuring out the puzzle to playing against the guys. This is like that, but with a fighting game. So like you kind of really. More than in the way that I play other fighting games like Street Fighter, I have to really, really be paying attention to both my surroundings and what the other person's doing.
Right.
Which is pretty neat because the stages play a lot into that. Like my first time through, I didn't really think about it that much, and then the second time through, I'm playing against characters and like there's a stage where you're basically riding giant Beyblades.
Sure.
And being on those things like makes the match totally different. So if you get knocked off yours, like you're never going to land a throw because now the other character is just way faster than you because he's on this giant top thing. And there's these other stages where like Helix's stage, there's all these tanks of like water tanks with like creatures in them and stuff, and you can hide behind those and just kind of work your way around them. And
that's kind of cool.
There's a lot of that kind of stuff to pay attention to. Yeah.
Does it feel somewhat like a natural evolution of what Power Stone might have become? Does it have that sort of vibe? I mean, that's what I'm hearing when you're saying that, but
that's what I would. There's certainly a small touch to that, I guess, in the stage design.
Okay.
But the actual fight mechanics themselves are really unlike anything I've played. It's way slower and more methodical than Power Stone.
Okay.
Like, it looks like it should be really fast, and the arms part of it is really fast, but your characters don't move very quickly. So like you're always like throwing these punches, but they don't move super fast across the screen, and you kind of like control them as they're going. So it's really it's almost like a constant resource management of like, well, if I throw this punch, then it's going to take this long for my arm to get back to me, but I still have the other arm to try to counter another punch with, but you need both of your arms back at you in order to block. So you can't do a one-handed block. The best you can do is, if a punch is coming your way, is try to dodge or counter it with your own punch, where then both your fists will just kind of bounce back and it'll nullify the attack. So I mean, it's really unlike anything I've played before, and now that I'm talking about it, I'm realizing how much I'm thinking about what I'm doing, like more than when I'm actually playing it. Like it's almost like Smash Brothers in the way that there's kind of this base set of moves that everyone has,
right?
But there's each character has their own like different augmentations of those basic kinds of moves, but at the same time, it's just so different. I'm really enjoying it.
Well, all right then. It looks really cool. It looks like a game that I would love to, like, I'll come over and play it and be like, that was really cool, and then not want to buy it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I'm really glad I bought it because it's taking so long to learn it.
right.
You know, if this was something that was really, really easy to master, like, I'm not using motion controls at all. I tried that in the demo and I can't wrap my hand around them. The movement is so important to me, and that's the part of the motion controls that I think doesn't work too well.
Right.
So it's all about the basic controller functions. I do wish you could remap the buttons a little bit because block is pressing the left analog stick in, which
That's weird.
it is weird. But I mean, you don't blocking leaves you so open in this game. Or at least I thought it did, because like I would block, and anytime I would see the other person block, or whenever I would block, I would get a thrown immediately.
Right.
But now I was playing against my first match of my level 4 match, which I must sound like an idiot. Like, I can't get past level 4. But the first match was against Master Mummy, and Master Mummy is the heavy character, and when he blocks for long enough, he starts to regain health. So every time I see him block, I go on the offensive with him. But he's such a tank. I'm not moving him at all, but I'd go for a throw, and he can very quickly drop his guard and react to that, which is something that I wasn't really able to do. I always kind of felt like if I'm guarding, it takes like too long to stop guarding and start moving. But that's clearly not the case, because I'm watching this guy not do that. Like, he'll guard for a second, and as soon as I throw a punch, he's dodging again. And there's clearly a lot about this game I don't quite get yet, but it's really fun to learn. So I took a risk buying it. You know, I always feel like I take a risk buying fighting games because I don't know how much I'm going to get out of them, because I don't have a lot of local friends to play with. But I'm getting a lot out of this. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, as much as I hoped I would. So hooray for that!
Well, that's awesome.
Quite.
All right, so
E3,
react to our reactions.
Okay, so what I did was I listened to the episode. Great episode, by the way. I enjoy getting to listen to our show as not being a participant. So
those are really the only ones that I listen to, or the ones that I'm not on.
It's a fun.
Like, I'm not that narcissistic. You know, listen to me talk and be funny. You hear what I said right there? I was funny.
I'm hilarious.
Why don't we have more listeners? I'm hysterical. It's really just an exercise in sadness if I listen to myself. Like, fuck.
All right, so I think this is the order you did it in. You went Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to run down my notes as I listened to, and also just kind of write down things that I thought of while I was watching the things happen. So first off, I was genuinely shocked that they more or less opened. I mean, first off, they opened with that little sizzle reel, and I saw Rocket League, and I lost my shit. I was like, finally, I can play Rocket League. I'm so excited. Because I've wanted to play Rocket League since it came out. I don't have any platforms that it's on, and shit, I'm so excited. And it's cross-platform. Not that the two of us can play together because of Sony, but still, that's freaking cool.
I mean, that really pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm really bugged by it, because their whole thing is like, well, we want it to be a safe community.
Yeah,
like,
no, you don't. No, you don't. Stop it.
Don't
Stop
if
it.
Nintendo's jumping on board this, it's got to be a safe enough community. I mean, come on now.
Well, they're on top. They don't have to.
Yeah,
you know, like Tiff and I said, Microsoft
did
did the same thing during the 360 time.
Mm-hmm.
They did the same exact thing, and I more understand Sony's decision to do it with Minecraft, because they don't want to pay into Microsoft. Like, I get that. I don't agree with it. I think it's fucking stupid. But
they're already paying
into
Microsoft by having Minecraft on their system.
Right. And Microsoft is paying to them by having fucking Blu-ray. Like, it's dumb.
It's a bunch of stupid. It's a whole
bunch of
stupid.
But at least there's a reason there. You know what I mean? Like, at least there's somewhat of like like, oh, okay, that's a sound business decision. You know, like, I could sort of understand that one. But like with Rocket League, there's no excuse. There's just no excuse.
I agree. I was just reading an interview earlier today about somebody was interviewing one of the Nintendo executives, and he said that the whole thing with having crossplay on Switch is them trying to be more flexible as a company. Like,
which is great.
It's good for you guys.
That's all
'Cause you
anybody
need
has
to be.
asked for from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because you're losing. But
Yeah,
you
need to be more flexible, and that's what they were talking about. Like, they want to work with as many people as they can, however it takes. That's what the guy was saying. I'm like, that's a really good good way to be. So Rocket League, right out of the gate, I was like, holy shit, it's Rocket League! That's great. I'm so excited.
I feel so bad for all of the Nintendo players that are going to be a year and a half behind or 2 years behind in that game, because holy fuck are the Nintendo players, not all of them, but a lot of them, going to get slaughtered if they have not been playing on PC.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's still fun.
I can't imagine this game not being fun. I am that is a day one purchase for me no matter what. I'm so
it's a
jazzed
blast.
about
It's a blast.
it. Xenoblade's coming this year.
Yay.
I do not believe it. I cannot believe. I was not expecting that in the least that was going to happen this year. I was certain that was being delayed because they haven't talked about that game since the first trailer for it. But no, it's happening apparently. So good for them.
And it'll be a big seller for them. It'll be a really big seller.
Yeah, I think it'll do better on Switch than it did on Wii U. I don't know. I hope it at least gets to where the Wii did as far as the first Xenoblade Chronicles. The art direction's a little more cartoony anime than I liked. Like I kind of dug the art direction of the original Xenoblade Chronicles, and at least the world is along the lines of that. It's the character designs themselves are a little more anime-ish than like Shulk and whatnot from the original Xenoblade Chronicles. They don't look bad, but I really wanted to see more of an extension of that, slightly more realistic, I guess more, let's say more Cowboy Bebop, less Hello Kitty.
Yeah, but depending on when it's released this year, it may be among the dearth of titles, and it'll be a decent seller, I think. I mean, it looks good, it
does.
Looks fun.
It looks very the world looks incredible, and that's always been the best part of Xenoblade Chronicles, in my opinion. Is just the world that they traverse. Is they have these just gorgeous, incredibly creative environments. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. I mean, I've barely played Xenoblade Chronicles. I have a sealed copy of Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's on my bucket list of things to do. But I mean, who knows? I might try to make time for this one because the Switch has made a lot of gaming easier for me, like to be able to play in small bits here and there. So this is something you guys were both talking about with Kirby, and I don't understand because you guys aren't. I've heard one other person talk about this. I don't get where people are looking at this Kirby thing as a reboot or a remake of the first Kirby game. Like it doesn't look anything like Kirby's Dream Land. Like the stages are not the same, the powers aren't the same. Like it really just looks like another new Kirby game, like the last Return to Dreamland on Wii, Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot. I guess the last 3 or 4 Kirby games. This just looks like an extension of that. So I'm not really sure where y'all are getting the reboot thing or remake thing from with this.
I think for me it was just the fact that there was the tree boss, and that's really the only thing I remember from the first one. And
Wispy Woods, he's been in every Kirby game.
Oh, has he? See, I haven't played the rest of them, so I don't know. Because again,
been in every one of them.
Like he's never really been for me. But my kids were super excited. Like I showed them the trailer for this, and they were way into a lot of the Nintendo stuff, but Kirby and Yoshi especially.
Yeah, Yoshi's Woolly World looked to me. I know you guys didn't really do. You guys didn't do Yoshi's Woolly World, did you?
No.
That was a phenomenal game. This looks to me more like an extension of that. That kind of craftsy thing that's really been the Yoshi art style since the Super Nintendo. Like, the Yoshi's Island was very much crayons. Then Yoshi's Story was this kind of paper crafty look, which just seems to be like this is kind of a mesh between that Yoshi's Story on N64 and Yoshi's Woolly World. I like this weird little kind of pseudo 3D thing they got going on there, where like some of the stages seem almost top down ish, where you move around a little bit, and then it's. I don't really understand it. Kind of like what they were going for in it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm interested because it's still good feel games, and as soon as I found out they were doing it again, they did Yoshi's Woolly World, which was absolutely fantastic. So I'm effing sold on it. Like I will be buying this game no matter what. It's also really interesting to note that game's running on Unreal 4.
Ooh, it's really awesome.
It's so bizarre to me. Like there's
really
a first-party Nintendo game running on Unreal. So
that's so weird. But I don't know. This was the game I think I was most impressed by, like from a visual standpoint. Like, I think it just looked gorgeous. Like Kirby looked really cool too, but they've been doing really interesting stuff with Yoshi, and this one just looks really neat.
It's an HD. When they did Woolly World on 3DS, my boss bought that, and I played it on her 3DS. She's like, "It's so cute, and it looks so good." And I played it for like 5 seconds. It's like, you do not know what you are missing. The Wii U version of this game is stunning, and this is like mushy.
Yeah, I think we're finally at a point now where Nintendo can really compete. Like as far as that is concerned, like yes, it may not be the top tier. Like it's not going to look like God of War. It's not going to look like Forza, but it looks damn good. You know?
It's like you're not going to look at it and be like, "Wow, the graphics here suck." Like it's
right.
Like I was saying,
and there were
Zelda.
some Wii U games that, there were some last generation where you looked at it and you were like, "Yeah, no, this just isn't good enough."
You didn't put your heart into this, guys.
Yeah,
but it's like I was saying
it.
with Zelda. You put Zelda on any screen, you're going to look at it and say, "There's nothing wrong with this. This looks great."
Yeah.
But if you put it next to Horizon, then you're like, "Oh, I see. There is somewhere to go from here."
Right.
So
I'm excited about it.
Next up on the list, Super Mario Odyssey. This knocked my socks off. This blew me away.
So weird.
I love how weird it is, and I love that that's weird. Like the point. Like this is just weird. Miyamoto's taking a backseat on this one. It's a bunch of younger designers, just being creative as shit, and
it's fucking weird, man. I hope it's awesome.
Thing, holy shit! I did not see that coming.
No, like the dinosaur and like the taxi, like it was just so.
And the realistically proportioned human.
Yeah, that's I don't fucking.
What the hell?
I don't know. I think that is a game that I am very much going to enjoy watching. But
did you happen to catch any of the gameplay stuff in Treehouse?
A little
Live
bit, yeah.
I saw this. They were in the forest stage, and he possessed a tree. And you can't do anything as the tree except for like hop a little bit.
Yeah.
And so he possessed the tree, hopped a few feet, then jumped out. There was a secret behind the tree. It's like, oh shit! There's this kind of stuff in the game.
So I'm
gonna throw my hat at everything.
Every tree. I'm gonna possess a mailbox. I'm gonna possess this thing over here. I'm gonna possess this brick.
You're gonna possess electricity and travel through the power lines, and the
very
ball
strange.
of electricity has Mario's hat and mustache. I fucking love it. I can't believe the creativity on display on this game. I'm stunned by it. I think it was just fantastic, and I get that. Yeah. Mario's not your thing, and I'll kind of get to this a little bit more later. But I was so impressed with Mario Odyssey.
I was very impressed. Like I don't want to come across as not impressed. I do agree with what Tiffany was saying last week though. Like I do think I would be way more excited for this game if it were not a Mario game. You know, I sort of have a predisposition to like.
I kind of heard what Tiff was saying about that, but I feel like that happens with the Kirby franchise a lot, where it's like we have this idea and it's pretty different from things, but Mario Odyssey really seems like a Mario game to me. Like this doesn't seem out of place for Mario because Mario is fucking weird. Like there's
Yeah.
pieces of Mario. There's so much that's intrinsically a Mario game about this. Like this is an evolution of the Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine type of game. So I don't think that I know that she was saying like, well, then just you should have made this a new franchise, and I don't think that's true. I think that this is what you do with Mario. This is an extension of that. I mean, there needs to be a new Mario game,
Right.
and you're not going to. If they just made the same Mario game over and over again, people would get pissed at them like they did with the new Super Mario Brothers games.
Right.
Because they just
right.
started cranking out the same thing with very little in the way of creativity, and that's not how you keep. That's not good franchise maintenance. And
No, it's
something
not.
like Mario Odyssey is. And I get the want for a new IP, but this makes a lot of sense to me. And the fact that it's centered around fucking Bowser and a team of evil wedding planners. I love this so much. I love every flavor of this.
I knew you would.
It's not a surprise. I knew I would, but I was
really
not
not.
expecting the possession mechanic. I just didn't see it coming. You mentioned that Metroid Prime 4 was a big damn announcement, and even though it was just the number 4 on the screen,
Doesn't
I
matter.
agree.
It was awesome when that
Doesn't
fucking
matter. It
symbol
was
showed
awesome.
up. That was so cool. I was hyped.
And there's not going to be forced motion controls because there can't be. It's the Switch. You can have motion controls in it, but you can't force them because it's got to be able to be played in dock mode.
I'm still holding out hope that there won't be anything forced in there. I don't believe it yet.
There can't be.
No, I know you keep saying that, but you can't predict Nintendo. They'll be
You
like,
know what? It's true. I can't predict Nintendo, but I'm saying that like ARMS they're selling ARMS on the motion controls, and they're completely effing optional because it's got to be able to be played in on docked mode. So, and
if that's the case, like I will have one.
I think it's gonna be that, and I'm pretty jazzed for it. I was always kind of I'm kind of hoping that it moves in a direction that's. I'm hoping that it moves in a different direction, and I'm sure it will because it's not being designed by Retro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new team. They said it was like a talented team. It's like that means it's the new guys that have improved themselves. So,
Well,
I'm fine
and it
with
has
that.
to be. I mean, this is like the Switch. I don't think there's any confusion among Nintendo, like the company themselves, of like we are doing well right now, but if we shit the bed, people are going to drop us a lot quicker than perhaps other people. Like Sony fanboys aren't going to drop Sony as quickly as people who bought a Switch and were burned by the Wii U or were burned by the Wii. If they burn them again, like, you know what I mean? The drop off is going to be a lot quicker. So Metroid Prime 4 has to be huge.
Yeah, and I feel that it's the right time for that to come back, and
It's been what 5-6 years?
it's been a while, and it's also they said that Metroid Prime 4 is a working title, so I'm not even 100% sold that it's going to keep the Prime moniker. Like
It might not.
It might not. It might
but
move in a totally different direction, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it.
yeah, just that logo alone was enough.
That was absolutely huge. It kind of says we do have other games coming past 2017, which they didn't do a very good job of showing me what I'm going to be playing on the system next year. I mean, it was Yoshi and Kirby and Metroid Prime 4 maybe next year, probably not. And the other absolutely earth-shattering confirmation is that a mainline Pokemon game is coming to the Switch.
It's about fucking time, man.
It's about fucking time. And I think the only reason it's happening is because the Switch is also a handheld, because they've always been very adamant about it being on handhelds. Well, now it's kind of on a console and a handheld. So, again, it's nothing huge to me personally, but that's going to sell systems. Without a doubt, that's going to sell systems. So, big, fat, hairy announcements there. Really, really, really big stuff. I wrote down that if you were saying that you guys were both saying that Mario Odyssey wasn't selling you. You were looking at that like, well, I mean, it's not selling me on a Switch, and I get that. That's for you, but for most people, Odyssey is a system seller. That's going to sell platforms this holiday season without a doubt. Like,
right. But what Tiff and I were saying with that is not because, yes, I agree, Mario Odyssey is going to be a system seller. I don't think that is a system seller for people who were not waiting for the Mario game to be out to get the system, if that makes sense.
it does. I
You
think
know what I mean?
I
Like-
think a lot of that might have to do with what kind of hype it gets, like what kind of word of mouth it gets. Kind of
Well,
like,
that's
kind of
true.
like, because at that point, if this game gets the kind of hype that Zelda had around it, where everyone was
Mm-hmm.
talking about it, like now you've got Mario and Zelda. So if you're picking up a system this Christmas, you've already got a pretty nice little setup of games there. Plus,
Right.
this year still has Splatoon 2, which is also looking to be pretty darn good. I'm far more impressed with what I'm seeing now of Splatoon 2 than I was when they first announced it, where it just kind of looked like a Splatoon and a half kind of thing.
Yeah, it looked more like a level pack than like a sequel.
It didn't look
yeah.
very different. And now there's like the Horde mode and the stuff I saw about the story segments. Like that's coming together like a real sequel, and I'm super
looks good.
stoked about that.
It looks
so
good.
that's also going to do well for it. I downloaded this. Did you? You can't have seen that Metroid game coming. Samus Returns, because I
No,
sure
not
did.
even a little bit.
I
not
sure
even
didn't.
a little
I
bit.
was
It
watching
was-
Treehouse Live, and they did the Mario segment. I was like, this is cool. It's going to be the rest of my day. And they're like, we got a brand new game to announce. My jaw hit the fucking floor.
It
like,
was awesome.
What? What?
It was awesome. It was fucking awesome. Like
Oh,
years.
so that's why AM2R. Okay, I get it. You throw a cease and desist on that one. I get it because you're doing a Metroid 2 remake. Why did it take you so long? They started this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's coming out in like 2 months or something. Like,
But,
holy
like-
shit! Why'd you keep this a secret for so long?
What's awesome about that too is that not only are we going to get an official Nintendo remake of Metroid 2, but a bar was set with AM2R that
Yeah.
Nintendo has to beat now.
They have to beat that. They do,
And that's
You're
a good
absolutely
place for us to be.
Right. It really is, yeah.
You know?
And I mean, that's a high bar too. AM2R was my game of the year last year. Like,
It really is, dude.
holy
Like-
shit, man! But I really like what they're doing with this. It's
I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to play it.
I really liked watching the gameplay of it. The melee move I think is really smart. I really like how that works because the creatures in Metroid 2 tended to charge you a little bit. So
Right.
it's nice to be able to be a little bit more physical with Samus. That's one of the things I liked about Other M was that she got to be a little bit more physical of a character and not really only relying on her guns.
Right.
I thought that was really cool, and I like the way that they're putting that in there.
She's this
only
badass
gripe-
bounty hunter. She can probably punch and kick a little too.
She
you know?
probably can. My only gripe is that this isn't on Switch. I want to retire my 3DS so badly, and I want to play this game on my TV, and I can't.
They got to sell that new system. They got to sell the new
The new 2DS. I get it. They want to
have
keep
to,
that
like-
ecosystem alive, but shit, this is Metroid. Please make an HD version of this, please.
I would not be shocked if in a year or two there is the Switch release of it.
I hope so. I hope it winds up on the just eShop download. I don't care. Just I
Right.
want to play this on my TV so badly.
They seem to be understanding the marketplace a lot better. They seem to be understanding what gamers want from them a lot better recently. I would be shocked if this does not show up on an eShop.
I hope you're right.
Not for a little while. Like certainly not within like, oh, you can buy it day and
they
date
don't
digital.
wanna-
You know, like
they don't
that's
want
not
to
going to happen.
cannibalize the 3DS sales on it. No.
But we'll
you
see
guys
how
were
the
talking about how they were hyping up the 3D on it. I downloaded the trailer. I don't give a shit about the 3D.
it looks cool.
I watched it in 3D. I was like, all right, I ain't playing this in 3D.
No, I mean I'm not going to, but
Maybe
but
if
it
I
looks
had
cool.
the new 3DS where the 3D works so much better.
It does
but
work much better.
It really does. Like the eye tracking it's fucking voodoo science right there.
It really
that thing's weird.
But again, I mean, Nintendo hasn't talked about the 3D in years.
Yeah,
that has not
really
been a selling point.
Freaked me out. Like they're like, and play this on your new 2DS. By the way, the 3D that doesn't work on the new 2DS looks fantastic. Thanks, I guess.
It's weird.
All right, we're spending a lot of time on this, so let me kind of blow through the rest of this.
Dude, Tiff and I went an hour and a half, so you and I have to go at least 3. How this works.
Holy shit, Mario and Rabbids looks good.
It does.
I'm not okay with it. Like, I feel uncomfortable. Like,
I don't think it's going to be good.
I do think it's going to be good. I was
good.
watching the gameplay. I was like, this actually looks like an accessible XCOM. Why is Mario and Rabbids XCOM? What? I'm so confused. And if this game, I'm so sad this game got leaked. Because that would have been such a crazy surprise. Like to have them drop this at E3, like, and nobody knew about it, and like they'd be like, "Ew, Mario Rabbids, what? It actually looks good. What?
Why am I into this?"
It looks good. I'm planning on getting it. I'm that interested in it. I'm very surprised, and I feel kind of dirty, but yeah, I'm totally into it. Speaking of things I'm totally into, the Master Sword in Skyrim. Good job. Good job. I mean, I don't know if it's enough to get me to play it. I'm probably going to give it a try just because it's on Switch and I liked Zelda, and maybe if I can play Skyrim the way I played Zelda, I might be able to get into it. But I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it yet. But I did like that they're doing something with it to make it a Nintendo thing.
Right.
And probably most importantly and most interesting is the fact that Nintendo is publishing the game.
That is interesting.
That's fucking bananas.
That might have been the condition of like, look, we're not taking the money on this. Like, you guys want to publish it, we'll make it, but we're going to need you to come with something.
I mean, maybe that's like helping secure more Bethesda content in the future. Like, I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's.
I mean, I say hopefully. Again, it doesn't matter to me, but you know,
the fact that Nintendo is going out on a limb to publish this fucking game, that means that there is a good relationship cooking between those two companies, and I think that's really, really good news to see that Nintendo is willing to go that extra mile to get Bethesda on their side. That's
well, and it works
fantastic.
so well for Bayonetta. So, I mean, it's.
I mean, you know, they.
I'm just
the
being
game wasn't a humongous success, but it was very well loved. So.
It was. No, I think this is really cool, and I think leveraging that the iconicness of the green tunic and the Master Sword and throwing it in Skyrim is enough to get people excited about it.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those little things, but it's also. There's a lot of Nintendo gamers like me who've never played this game before, and they're going to try to sell this to all the people who bought Zelda, which is a lot of fucking people. And like, well, you liked Zelda? This is a similar-ish type of experience. Why don't you see what everyone's been talking about for the last, 30 years or however long ago Skyrim came out? Because this game will not go away, because it's not just coming to Switch. There's a fucking VR game coming out, too. I know.
Oh, goodness.
Skyrim for everyone forever.
Skyrim forever. That's just the next game in the franchise is Skyrim forever.
So they're just gonna release Skyrim again. They're not gonna change the title or anything about it. They're just gonna be like, and now the sequel to Skyrim, Skyrim.
No
it's
new
gonna
content.
call it Elder Scrolls 6, also Skyrim.
Elder Scrolls Morrowind 7 brackets. It's just Skyrim. Close brackets.
FIFA is in Nintendo's commercials,
which is good.
I'm also impressed by that. I have this kind of a thought on their third party approach right now, and I'm looking at obviously everyone's like, they only have real shit tiny support from everyone, and I'm wondering if it's kind of a conscious thing. I'm wondering if Nintendo is looking back at the third party support they got on Wii U. Where they're like, all right, everybody bring all your shit over, and they did a real shitty job of it, and then the third-party support went down the toilet.
Right.
I'm wondering if Nintendo was like, all right, here's the deal. We want third parties, make one game, but do a really good job of it.
Bring your A game.
Bring your A game. Just
don't
the
bring
one.
me Carnival games, goddammit.
Yeah. And then we'll take it from there. I mean, like EA, I was surprised, and the way that they worked on this FIFA game for Switch, I'm kind of bummed that one mode isn't in it just because it's a box to tick. But even if I was to play FIFA, I probably wouldn't play that mode anyway.
Sure.
All the important stuff is like that's the one mode that's missing, and everyone's saying like, oh, it's got modes missing, it's gimped. Like, well, and it's not running on Frostbite. I was so impressed with EA's response to that. They were like, no, fuck you. We looked at what Frostbite could do, and then we thought we can do better than this on this system. And they built an engine from scratch.
Yeah.
So anyone calling EA lazy on this FIFA port clearly doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they didn't just upport the 360 one. They were the guy in the interview was great. He was just like, we didn't just lazily slap some shit together. We looked at what the system can do and said, this is what we're going to make this run as good as possible in both docked and handheld mode. We're going to make the best FIFA we can within the time constraints and budgetary restraints that we have. I'm impressed enough by that.
And I hope it's awesome.
I hope
really
so
do.
too. I mean, it seems like it's going to be gameplay-wise on par with what FIFA's been doing, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
So,
FIFA's
Godspeed.
great.
I hope it does well. The way that EA seems to be pushing it is in like, this is a fully featured FIFA game that you can take anywhere, and I think it's gonna do well everywhere except the States, where it's gonna do all right.
Right, but that's soccer games in general. It
is.
I mean, FIFA does do a fair amount of business here, but nowhere near the numbers that it does literally everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So the troubling thing to me, coming out like after E3 are things like Dragon Ball Fighter Z not coming
that
to
one
Switch.
is like that just seems like I don't even know. Like, Xenoverse is coming. Like, they're porting fucking Xenoverse over, so it's not like the game can't run on Switch, because Xenoverse is far more complex. And now, like, everyone's all like, you got to bring this Fighter Z game over, and Bandai Namco's just like, well,
No.
They haven't been saying no. They're like, I guess tell us you want it, and I'm sure they're like, well, I'm sure that in the planning phase they were like, all right, we're going to bring the biggest Dragon Ball game we have to it. Something tells me I don't think they were expecting this one to explode the way that it did. Like, I don't
know
think
how they could not have been. Did they watch the trailer?
Because it's fucking amazing. That is like, that did it for me right
that's
there.
everything I've ever wanted.
If that game's not coming out on Switch, I'm buying a PS4. Like, that's the breaking point. I can't take it anymore. I absolutely have to have that game in my life.
It is cartoon authentic Dragon Ball Z made by the motherfuckers who make Guilty Gear.
How do you say no to that? The
You
visual
can't.
style is unbelievable. Like, there were these Naruto Ultimate Ninja games for a while that had this amazing look, and I kept thinking to myself, why can't they make that work with Dragon Ball? Because every time they release a Dragon Ball game, I've never liked the way that they look. I just hate the visuals. They never get that cel shading as good as they get in those Naruto games. This fucking nails it, because it looks like it's sprite-based, but it's not.
I'm so
They're
excited.
fucking polygons. Oh my
fucking
god,
excited.
it's so gorgeous. I'll get to my thoughts on Marvel vs. Capcom in a bit.
Yeah, I know. But the way that the super like whatever they're going to call them, the hypers or the super specials or whatever, the way that those affect the playing field. Like, I forget what it was in the trailer. It might have been Goku's, or it might have been either like Frieza's or Cell's or something like that. But after the big fuck off explosion, like the landscape, the playing field was all like red and torn the fuck up, and like it just looks so cool. I can't wait to get my ass kicked in that game online, because fuck is that going to happen?
I want to hug that game forever. I just keep looking at it over and over. Every day I watch a different gameplay video of it, or the same gameplay video. I don't even give a shit.
It doesn't matter.
I love the look of it so goddamn much.
Awesome. Anyway, so wrapping your thoughts up here.
For Nintendo, on paper, logically, I want to give it a B+, but I cannot give anything less than an A because they announced 2 new Metroid games.
That's true.
They could have announced those 2 games and nothing else, and I was like, well, it's kind of an automatic A because that you could have announced Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Samus Returns, and Wii Music 2, and I would have been like, I'm sorry, you get an A.
What if Miyamoto had come out and pretended to play the flute again? Would that have given it an A+ or taken the score down? I'm not sure.
Depends on what he played on the flute.
What if he came out with a health tracker and played the flute? And you could see how it was such a good workout.
These are how you will control Metroid Prime 4.
While you have to rock back and forth on the Wii Fit balance board to walk forward.
The new Switch balance board and the Switch vitality sensor and the Switch recorder.
Our most complicated control scheme ever. Now portable. And you could only play it undocked. Like that would be the other part about it.
So I give them an A-.
All right, that's fair.
All right, let's move on to Sony. Their stage show makes me physically uncomfortable.
Oh, it was awful.
Just every time there's a guy coming out. And this was something that Tiff was saying, and she kept admitting that it didn't make sense. And it was just driving me up the wall because she'd be like, I'm mad at you for not doing a stage show, but I'm also mad at you for doing a stage show.
Yeah.
Like, she was impossible to please at that point because you kept going back and forth like, I don't know what you want from these people. You were mad at Nintendo for not doing a stage show, even though they haven't done one in years.
I know.
And you were mad at Sony and Microsoft for doing a stage show.
I know. This is my life, Kris.
And, I mean, it was fine because she admitted that she was being irrational. She kept saying, I don't know what I want from these people, but it was nuts. You were definitely right about the stuff they didn't announce, like especially indies. The PlayStation Experience and Nintendo Directs are a big thing, and E3 is even struggling with that. That's why they let people, the public, into the show this year. Like,
yeah, they've killed my excitement for E3. I try to get hyped for it like I used to, and I just can't.
I mean, I can still get hyped for it, just not to the degree we used to, because there's so much other stuff throughout the course of the year. Like anything they didn't announce at E3 this year, I'm like, all right, well, in a couple of months there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. I'm sure they got more shit up their sleeves, so I'm stoked about that. So like I was kind of shocked to see so few indies at E3 this year. Like that was kind of weird. And nobody really talked about him much. No,
it really was not from anyone.
Yeah, from anybody.
Like, and even from the indies themselves.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a focus. They were like, no, we're not doing anything this year.
There has definitely been a focus on indies at E3 before, and I'm surprised that nobody really had anything to say about it this year. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Nintendo did that big indie spotlight thing, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see another one because a lot of those games are really good.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Shadow of the Colossus looks great.
Holy shit, was that a surprise?
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
No. And the fact that it has been confirmed that this is not just another upscale, but that this is a full remake for the PS4. Like, this is from the ground up being remade.
This is, let's make the game that we tried to make in the first place before we realized that we were
about
making
15 years too early.
Like, you play that game and you can actually see beads of sweat come out of your PlayStation 2.
Even the HD version is better. It's much better, but it's still
just not there yet.
You can still, as you're playing it, you can see the game that's in there. And that was such a surprise.
And a very welcome one at that. I hope it doesn't take as long as the last, The Last Guardian.
Oh, God.
We'll be playing it in 3015.
We'll be playing it on the PlayStation 91.
For some reason, this new... All right, I will start by saying the new Uncharted does look awesome. Mm-hmm. It's not grabbing me the same way as the other ones, but...
That's because you're a sexist pig.
I mean, that's true. That is very true.
Karen and
Yeah,
I
don't
talk
know.
about it all the time.
Yeah, I'm really awful.
You really are. You're fucking
Really
a horrible, horrible person.
Now, I didn't actually watch. Look, I'll probably buy it because it's probably going to be awesome. It's just I don't know. I never finished the third one, so I don't know. We'll see. I missed technical difficulties. I didn't actually watch the beginning of the Sony conference,
It's
so
so embarrassing.
I'm so sad I missed technical difficulties.
So embarrassing. Like you could hear the audio through the microphones that were on stage, capturing the audio that was being broadcast to the fucking people in attendance. Like that's how you were kind of like, oh, I'm hearing this like secondhand. That's not good. It's not a good look, Sony. Not a good look.
Oh, that's awesome. I cannot wait to play Horizon Zero Dawn and then buy its DLC.
I am so excited for that game. I'm not
can't
buying
wait
that
to play
game
it.
until I get a PS4 Pro. Like, and I know that somewhat contradicts everything I fucking said about Xbox.
Well, I mean, have fun with that. I'm not even sniffing a PS4 Pro.
But I've had the PS4 since launch. I've had this for 5 years. You know what I mean? At this point, let's be honest, I have upgraded my PlayStation 3, 2, and 1 because my original versions of those broke by 5 years into it anyway. So, you know, I mean, that's somewhat... we can talk about that when we get to Microsoft.
Yeah. I'm not interested in Days Gone. I mean, good for them, but it's just not for me.
I don't think I'll buy it until it goes to like $20, but I thought the thing they did with the zombies and using the zombies like as a distraction was really cool.
Yeah, it's shocking to me that people still find ways to make zombies interesting, but
Yeah, I think this game is going to flop hard.
I think so too.
I really do. Like it
there's
looks
this,
really good, but so does everything else.
It reminds me of in a similar fashion of way I think it's going to bomb as there's a 3DS game coming out called Ever Oasis. Mm-hmm. It's from all these like really high profile Japanese developers. Something tells me that like nobody wants that game. It's just going to bomb, and it's sad because it's probably going to be great. I feel the same way about Days Gone. Like
Yeah, I feel
I'm
the same
sure
way.
it's going to be very good, but I just don't see it catching on. I don't know.
It's going to be, I feel, very similar to The Order. And I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but The Order 1886 was this really cool game that Ready at Dawn did.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome game. Like it's really, really good. But when it came out at $60 and it was like a 6-hour game, you know what I mean? Like people weren't really happy with that. But if I picked that game up for $10 or $15, maybe even cheaper than that on one of their sales, and I loved it. It was great. You know, and probably the same thing with Days Gone. That'll hit a flash sale at some point and be $10, and I'll be like, fuck it. I'm rich.
Sign me up. Why not?
Yeah.
Monster Hunter. I find this odd. I mean, not crazy odd because
It's Monster
the first,
Hunter.
yeah, the first Monster Hunter was PlayStation, but
Yeah.
it is weird that it's not coming to Switch. But whatever.
It's a little weird. I stick by what I said last week. I am more excited about the fact that we may get the Monster Hunter collaboration with Puzzle and Dragons in North America than I am about this game.
I mean, there is a Monster Hunter game coming to Switch, but
Not this one.
Capcom is so confusing.
What did you think about the trailer? Because, like, it's the worst trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
The music
It
wasn't
didn't
even
sell me
dramatic.
on it.
No. It's just like, so I'm just going to walk around by myself for a little while and then fight a dinosaur with nasal problems? Okay.
Fun.
Cool. Yeah,
Hey.
not good.
Monster Hunter's not for me. I've tried it a couple of times. I can't get into it.
It's not really for me either. It's good.
It is objectively good, but yeah, it's not for me. Meh versus Capcom.
I so want to be excited. I downloaded the demo this past week and played through it after we recorded. And
Ultron teaming up with Sigma should have me as excited as Dr. Wily teaming up with Dr. Robotnik.
It should
But
be
it
the coolest
doesn't.
fucking thing. It should
It's
be
like-
so cool, and it looks awful. They
I
all
think it's
look
the art
stupid.
direction.
They look dumb. They look
Yeah.
dumb.
Like,
Dumb.
Chun-Li's head is so small.
So
It's
bad.
just not proportionate with the rest of her body.
Nope.
And, like, especially if you put this next to Dragon Ball
Yep.
Fighter Z.
No, it's
I
not
just-
even.
And that's the thing. Like, it's not... It doesn't look... I don't think it looks like the last game. I think it looks worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think it legitimately looks worse than Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I don't get it. I don't get
I don't
it.
care for it at all.
Now, I will say this. I just recently saw a video of someone playing the game in, like, a daytime stage where the lighting was completely different. Because everything I'm seeing is, like, all this,
it's
dark
all dark
background.
and shit. Yeah.
Now, this art direction looks so much, like, leagues better in that stage where it was,
Really?
like, all bright and whatnot. I was like, oh, I see. This really doesn't look bad. Whereas I think it actually legitimately looks bad in the other directions. It just doesn't look right. I don't know.
There's something off about it, and they keep saying like, this is footage of a game in development and like all that, but like,
it's
this
not going to
is-
change that much.
no, it's really not.
Yeah.
Like the game is coming out this year. It's not like we're not years away from this game where they can totally change everything. It's just
Yeah, it's.
what was wrong with Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Like, other than Morgan's sprite, what was fucking wrong with that game? Just, that's what everybody wants, dude. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, like-
what we all want.
It was cool when they did it with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, that was cool that they took it polygonal.
Sure.
And I liked the direction they went because, like, that was an interesting evolution to take it. But cell shading has come so far, and I think it's that it seems to be so much more leaning on the Marvel side toward the Marvel Cinematic Universe than the Marvel Comics universe.
Yeah.
Which is kind of disappointing because it should have that comic look to it. It should. Can you imagine how this game would look with with a Dragon Ball Fighter Z's art direction?
It'd be.
Holy shit.
It would have been the game that everybody came out talking about.
Because when I think of, like, one of the things that sold me on X-Men Children of the Atom and all those games going forward was that art direction.
It looked like you were playing the comic book.
It looked like you were playing the cartoons, the comic books. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I loved the way that looked. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 just looks so cool. I love that sprite work. And when they finally updated it to 3D, I thought it was a good direction. But this just looks so artificial and shinier than it should be. It's like, I don't know. It looks like a PlayStation 1 cutscene.
Yeah, I don't care for it.
Yeah,
I
really Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 and X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, those games are like, they are godly to me. I bought the friggin' import version of X-Men vs. Street Fighter on Saturn with the 4 meg chip and played the shit out of it. I loved MVC 1 and 2 on my Dreamcast. I adore these games. MVC 3 was the one that kind of saddened me, where like I'd watch tournament play of it and be like, this, I can't even follow what's happening. It's
I know.
like,
It's just not
why
the same.
you miss one move and then you just might as well put your controller down and walk away because you're just getting comboed and there's nothing you can do about it. The game just devolved so much into this giant combo fest that would make Killer Instinct blush. And I liked the philosophy behind the gameplay of MVC4 or Infinite, where they're trying to pull away from that a little bit. I really like that design philosophy, and the game might play very well, but I can't get
But it looks
over
terrible.
so much of the point, so much of what is exciting about Marvel vs. Capcom is seeing these characters interact with one another. It's a crossover game, and visuals are a big part of that. And if I'm not getting excited from watching what these characters look like with each other, you're losing a lot of what's making it special.
Yeah,
And
I agree 100%.
tagging out. Let's see, moving down the list. Call of Duty, don't care. VR, just don't care. I still don't care.
No,
wish I
they
did,
didn't have
but I
the
don't.
thing. That was my. That was one of my predictions, that they would have the killer thing, and the killer thing still isn't there. At Skyrim in VR, not the killer thing.
Yeah.
Like, so, the stuff that they showed looked cool, but not. It's just not there yet.
It's not, not for me. I'm sure the VR fanatics are losing their shit over it.
Oh, sure.
I'm not one of them. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I wrote, God of War, this being your game of show was about as shocking as Odyssey being mine.
Dude. Fuck, Jormungandr. Jormungandr wanting to bring about Ragnarok and recruiting Kratos to do so. That's the best possible outcome.
This game looks amazing.
Holy shit.
Just looks amazing. It looks so good.
Oh man. Like I hope
the kid doesn't get annoying.
I can't, dude. The God of War games have always had a very, very angry main character, and humanizing him a little bit, I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think they would have done it if there was even the slightest chance that kid was going to get annoying in the game. Because it is like, make no mistake, having a more humanized Kratos, like, the reason he becomes the ghost of Sparta is because his wife and kid, like, he kills them following Ares, like in the first, before the first game, before Ascension, like whatever. That's the whole basis for why he's so fucking angry.
Yeah.
So now to have a new wife and child, like putting Kratos in the role of a protector amidst all of this insanity is such a cool
Kratos?
idea. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There was
really.
They say it in the trailer. She said something like the gods of this realm, and the way she says this seems to indicate that she knows that he is not from that particular realm. And there was a shot in the trailer of Grecian pottery that had the Omega symbol on it. Like this is Kratos. This is the same fucking guy.
See, my understanding of it was that this is a reincarnation of him.
Even if that is, I mean, it's still the same.
I'm totally
what I mean?
Cool with that.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Shit. Like, if this is actually the same dude with all of his memories intact, like, just started a new family, that kind of takes a. I can't wait to try this game.
Dude, I can't wait to own this. I can't wait to play this. You're right.
It was one of those things where I kind of stopped paying attention to it. I was like, don't care, I'm sold.
Yeah,
don't care. Don't tell me another thing. It's like watching Star Wars trailers for me. Like,
yeah, like I'm not going to go see it now.
It's like I'm not going to go see Last Jedi. Like, see, you showed me the title. You said that Star Wars is coming out. I don't need anything else.
Yeah, like I don't need to see a trailer for Avengers: Infinity War. I've already purchased my tickets. I'm in line already, waiting with popcorn. Like,
yeah, there's some things that you just don't need to sell me on.
But even
as long as it wasn't God of War skateboarding, I'm good.
Even that I'm kind of into. Like, but when Jormungandr's head pops out of the fucking water at the end and like the eye opens and shit, and he spits out that big fucking axe and like the kid is translating for him, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Because Norse mythology is so fucking cool. Like Greek mythology, all mythology is pretty cool. Like, kind of across the board, they're really interesting stories. But like Jormungandr being the world serpent that wants to bring about the destruction of the world so that it can be reborn again through Ragnarok is such an interesting story. And I'm fucking hyped, man. I knew it going in. I was like, yeah, well, that's going to be the one.
It was just similar, like with me with Odyssey, where you knew that was going to be your game of show. You just didn't know exactly why.
Yeah.
And it was just surprisingly wonderful in every good way possible. This Detroit game does absolutely nothing for me. Nothing in the least. I remember I was so bored. It's like, oh, there's cyborgs and fighting for their rights, and somebody died. Oh, it's Quantic Dream. David Cage can eat my ass. I don't even know if he's involved in this one. I don't care. It's a Quantic Dream game. I am out.
I'm almost positive he is. They were Beyond Two Souls and What was the other one?
Jason.
I fucking love those games, but
Jason.
I totally
thank
understand how those
this whole
games
setting,
are divisive.
The whole setting of this just seems so. I get it. I've seen this story a billion times. The art direction does nothing interesting. It screams like just grabbing me with both hands and shaking me and saying, "Take me seriously. I am art." I don't give a shit. You're a fucking shitty Sci-Fi Channel original series. Like, stop it. This is not high art. Ugh.
I get it.
Did nothing for me.
It's, I don't think, and the other games that have come out like that, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, what are the ones that are on Xbox? Like, they did a couple like that, too. Like, Alan Wake, like that sort of stuff. Those are the games. I think the Telltale games kind of fall into this a little bit, too, of like,
a little bit,
I love this, or this is, I fucking hate this. This isn't for me at all. You know, I don't think there's like, Telltale, I'd give her to take it. You know, like it does either way. Beyond Two Souls, not my cup of tea. You know, like it just wasn't. It's like, no, this is fucking great. It's storytelling and I love it. Or like, oh, fuck you. Don't even bring that near me.
Yeah, I'm in category 2.
Yeah,
Thank you. Destiny 2, do not care.
It looks great. It looks great. And the millions of people who do care. Like, you know, I remember you asking me a couple years ago now at this point, I remember you asking me if I finally felt justified in purchasing a PS4 when I got Destiny.
Uh-huh.
And I said I wasn't sure. At least I think that's what I said.
I think so. That sounds about right.
Because it's still just Halo with a different skin, and that's still just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we are very much in the minority here, Kris. Like,
we are, yes. Destiny was a popular game.
It still
There's
is.
No question in my mind that it is good at what it does.
It's very good at what it does. You know, it really is. There are still people, like, go look at the Destiny subreddit, man. It is filled with people doing shit in that game daily. It's just not for me.
Ditto.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man.
This next one, I am surprised that this is your reaction.
I can't put my finger on it.
Is it the costume?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because they said that that's not going to be the only question.
Weird,
or the only question, the only costume.
The only costume.
They said you're going to be able to have... Dude, I was blown away by that game.
I was looking at it like I should be like bouncing off the friggin' walls with this.
You really should. I don't know why you're not.
Freaking out about it. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I just can't.
I don't. I think it's probably the costume. That's the only thing I can think of, because like I look at that costume and I'm like,
I think it's the bouncing around fighting stuff. I don't know.
But that's Spider-Man.
It is.
Was it that the swinging was too slow? Like I saw that as a criticism.
No, that didn't bug me.
Dude,
you know what? Here's and I think this was I heard this complaint. I almost feel like I'm looking at this game thinking this is really neat to watch, but I can't imagine knowing to do the things that are happening like it's a scripted event. I can't imagine. If I'm imagining myself playing this game, I'm imagining myself doing exactly what the game doesn't want me to do because I can't figure out what it wants me to do, and I'm going to like wind up dying from something stupid and having to start over this sequence again. Like there's a bunch of things that are happening and the game wants you to react a certain way, but none of it seems natural to me. It seems natural to the person playing it who is somebody who was involved in the creation of it. It's smelling to me of that kind of gameplay, and I could be completely wrong on this, and I probably am, because this is a team, what is it, Insomniac, right?
Yeah.
Like, they know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't make bad games, and they make very accessible games.
They do. This is probably, I'm probably just was in a weird mood when I saw it or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Well, something about it is just left of center. This isn't a Marvel vs. Capcom situation. I'm not like, this game looks like shit. I'm looking at it like, this game looks incredible, but it's not. I remember the first time I saw Arkham Asylum.
Right.
I was like, holy shit. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, this looks good. And
See,
I don't
like,
know why.
I think maybe, like, because you played through Arkham Asylum, you played through a little bit of City, right?
No, I didn't finish Asylum. I didn't even sniff City.
Okay. Because as the Arkham games went on, it became very evident when you were playing it that there were multiple ways to play through that game. And I always took the tactic of, like, I don't have the patience to set shit up and, like, do stuff with, like, the explosive gel and, like, traps on. Like, I'm just going to be a tank and I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to hit this button a bunch of times. I'm not even going to worry about trying to do fucking combos. Like, I'm just going to hit square a bunch and Batman's going to take care of the rest of it. I think the way the Spider-Man game is playing is going to be similar to that, of, like, you were watching, like, a high-level Arkham player doing all the interactive stuff that you could do, like, especially when you got to the last Arkham game, where, like, you can do Batmobile-assisted takedowns and, like, all this fucking crazy shit. And, like, I'm like, no, I'm just going to punch him a bunch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do all this other stuff. Yeah. I think that's what you were seeing in that. And, like, I've seen high-level Arkham play, and I'm like, oh, fuck, that looks... I don't want to do that. You know, that looks like I don't understand how to do any of those things that they're doing. But I think, like, especially to what Tiff was saying, it felt so much more natural to see Spider-Man doing those different things of, like, grabbing the crates and doing the different stuff. I'm sure it will be as easy to do as it is in the Arkham game, because it's not that it's hard. It just requires a little bit more thinking.
I think you're nailing it for me. I think the game is intimidating. I think what I'm looking at, the game seems too intimidating for me, that it doesn't look like fun to me, because it seems like it's going to be very intimidating, but it's probably not going to be.
Well, and think about, like, how much you love God of War, right? If you watched somebody play God of War without knowing that all of that shit that Kratos is doing is simply done by hitting square, square, triangle, you'd be like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, oh, Jesus. But it's so simple to control. That was one of the things that made God of War so much fun, is that you were doing this badass shit and you were hitting like 3 or 4 buttons, maybe with a little roll on the right stick. You know what I mean? But if you just look at that objectively and take yourself out of that, of knowing how to play it, it looks like there's a lot of shit going on. Yeah. You know, I am positive that is the same for the Spider-Man game. There is no way.
Right, yeah.
There is absolutely no way that Insomniac is making a Sony exclusive Spider-Man game that is going to be obtuse to control.
I agree.
There's no way.
With you.
It would. There's just no way. I am as excited for this game as I was the first time I played that Neversoft Spider-Man game.
Those were the days.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. This looks amazing. I hate the costume. I hate it.
I don't love the costume.
It looks stupid. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, the big white spider thing is bizarre.
They came out and said that it's not going to be the only costume. And I'm okay with Spidey having different costumes. Like,
yeah, he always has different costumes.
That's fine. He can have new and creative stuff. Like, I don't even hate the fucking, like, the black and green neon one that was in the comics for a little bit. I kind of dig that one too, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The Iron Spider was kind of cool.
I love Iron Spidey.
The gray one where, like, the
Armored Spider-Man?
Armored Spider-Man, yeah. That one was pushing it for me, but most of the other Spidey costumes I dig.
Yeah. Dude, I am positive that this game is going to be amazing.
Not for nothing, I want them to make a superior Spider-Man game.
Oh, I do too.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh, dude.
Wouldn't that just be so much fun? Make that as DLC for this game.
I thought I was going to hate that run in the comics too. I thought it was going to be so stupid.
I was
almost
afraid of it. Oh no, I read it at the time. I was almost afraid of it, but I'm such a Doc Ock fan, and I was like, "Holy shit, man, that is brutal."
It was great.
It was so good. It was so good. I was so sad when it was over.
I want it more than I like the actual Spidey books now. I want Superior Spider-Man back.
I dropped off. When they went back to Amazing.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Spidey Deadpool's been pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll save that for bags and boards. That's never happening. It's all right.
Let's see here.
So what grade would you give Sony?
What grade would I give Sony? I would probably say overall a B+.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much exactly what I would give Nintendo if they had not brought 2 Metroids.
Right. And
Sony didn't bring 2 Metroid games.
No, they didn't. If they would have, they would have gotten
been weird.
They would have gotten an S+.
I probably would have given him a Z. I don't even know what that means. Congratulations, you get an Epsilon.
Done and done.
Epsilon plus even.
Ooh. Thrown out the 6-star. Anyway.
Okay, let's see here. Let's move on to Microsoft. I agree with pretty much everything you said about Microsoft, except for this weird faulting them for trying to step outside of their comfort zone. When they were showing off that dumbass platformer, and Tiff was all like, this isn't Microsoft. This isn't what you do. Do the things that you do. Like, no, don't stick to the shit you do. Like, yes, Blinks wasn't a great game, but Viva Pinata sold well, They focused a ton of time on, a ton of effort on Connectimals. Like, they had that bundled with the system. Like,
and no one has cared so far, and no one's going to care. That's not their market, and that's okay.
It's okay that it's not their market, but you can't fault them for trying.
I can too. They could have thrown some more money to make fucking Sea of Thieves an actual game instead of just a water simulation. Like I disagree on that.
Look, this is what's left of Rare. That's and that Microsoft's got to own that. Like, this is what's left of that company you bought. Like, this is the best that they can do.
Dude, how disappointing was that? The water looks amazing. The rest of it,
you can shoot yourself out of a cannon.
Whatever.
I'm not playing it. I mean, it's I'm glad it exists, but it's
for the company that made GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, for that to be their FPS showing. Nah, man, you got to try again. Go back. Nope, you missed it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't very impressed by it. I wasn't impressed by much of anything at the Microsoft conference. The only thing I was
except that car.
Look at this car.
There's a fucking Porsche.
The only thing I was impressed with was that it wasn't a bad show.
No, it wasn't.
That was what impressed me about it. It's like, all right, that wasn't bad. Good job, guys.
But $500.
Oh man. Okay, Xbox One X. It's Xbox. I can't believe you bastards did that. I cannot believe that you made a new Xbox that abbreviates to Xbox. I fucking hate you for that. I will hate you forever for that.
It's the worst possible name.
I mean, it's no Wii U, but it's pretty bad.
But dude, you worked in video game retail. And as annoying as the 3DS stuff would be, trying to determine whether or not somebody is saying S or X.
And not only that, but because it abbreviates to Xbox, they're going to be like, the Xbox. Which Xbox? The Xbox, The X. The what? Screw it. Give me a give me a 3DS. A 3DS or a 2DS?
You know what? I'll take a PS4 Pro and be much happier.
I'll take a PS4. Do you want a PS4 Slim or a Pro? Fuck, give me a Switch. Sold out. Son of a bitch.
In that case, I'll take a fucking whatever this new Atari thing is that they're making.
Do you have any graphing calculators?
Could I have a Game Boy? No, it's the worst name.
Yeah, no,
it's Project Scorpio, while not a good name, is a better name than the Xbox One X.
Well, I mean, Xbox One isn't a good name either, because you are already at that confusing state where, like, Xbox. So what do you call Xbox now? Original Xbox? Like, Microsoft, making me mad, making me mean mad.
But dude, $500?
It's a lot of dollars.
They
were all like, "Hey, we did it. We beat Sony. We have the most powerful system." And like, well, that's cool. You also have the most powerful price.
Like, who's buying that system?
People who already have Xbox Ones.
That's not enough.
No, it's not. They're not selling anyone new on the Xbox on the One X.
But did they?
Just,
again, looking at it objectively, did you see anything in there? If you were an Xbox One owner, was there anything that they showed that's going to make you drop $500 on that?
Not me personally. I understand the market they're going for. They're going for the people that absolutely positively have to have the best thing, but they refuse to do it on a PC.
But that was the point I was trying to make.
That is a small market.
I was going to say that's the point I was trying to make last week, and I don't.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I don't think I made it very well last week. The people who care that much about graphical fidelity and graphical performance and can afford to spend $500 on a new Microsoft system because they are Microsoft gamers, I would wager that they probably have a powerful enough PC to play those games. And
they probably do.
And if they don't, they're probably not going to buy the Xbox One X.
Well, there's definitely a subset of those people. I think that's about half of that market, and I think the other half is the subset of people that don't know shit about computers that will go in and be like, "Oh, this is the new shit. I gotta have the new shit. Give me the new shit." Like,
sure.
I think it's a 50-50 split there, and I think that it's just like, "Oh, I got the new shit. It's the new powerful stuff." They don't care about what those numbers mean. They don't know shit about teraflops other than they're bigger than the other things.
Yeah.
So they're going to plunk down stupid amounts of money for diminishing returns. I mean, sure, this shit all looks pretty nice. It looks gorgeous. But, I mean, unless I'm looking at it side by side with an Xbox One, I don't see the difference. And I feel the same way about the PS4 Pro. Like, unless I'm looking at it side by side, I'm just not seeing it. Like, but the PS4 Pro makes sense because it's still at a price point that's like, okay, this is a high-end thing. I want it to be the high-end model, and it's not like bank-breaking.
It's not. $400 is still a lot of money, but
it is. But it's like it's within the realm of. It's in that relative sweet spot for an expensive piece of technology.
Right, because the Switch is how much? $350.
Like,
Switch is $350.
Is 300 350? I thought it was 300.
Maybe
300.
It's
350.
I thought it was whatever.
No, it's 300. Yeah, because I was expecting to come in at 250 and it came in at 300.
Okay, so 300 for a Switch, and then you can get like 2 games and be up to a PS4 Pro, or PS4 Pro and 2 games, and then you're up to an Xbox One X. Xbox One, and that really is the biggest thing to me. I am getting a PS4 Pro eventually because I have my PS4. I want another one in my house because I use it for it's my cable company now. Like, I have PS View through here. We watch all of our stuff is done on this system. And while you can do the PS View stuff on a PS3, it doesn't work as well. You can do it on a computer, but I want another one hooked up to my television that I have upstairs. So I will buy another PS4 Pro because
the app for Apple TV is very nice.
It is. It works pretty well, right?
It does, yeah.
It's a really good service. I really enjoy that service. But everything we do, Amazon Prime and the Prime Videos and Netflix and WWE Network, like, I need another PS4 to have in the house because there's 4 of us here. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. And buying it at $400, that'll go on the main TV, and the older PS4 will go upstairs. Mm-hmm. That's fine because I already have this entire library of stuff to put with it. But even if I didn't, at that price point, like I said last week, you can get a PS4 Pro and Horizon plus Uncharted 3 and have money left over before you're getting an Xbox One X, which you can also play all of that stuff on a PC. If I want to play Horizon, I have to have a PlayStation.
Yeah, that gets me to my biggest complaint with the Xbox presentation is their stretching of definitions.
Oh, dude,
They're
that exclusive thing was fucking annoying
yeah,
and
like, oh, it's
misleading.
exclusive, except it's console exclusive.
Right.
So it is, but it isn't. Like, yeah, you're not. You mean it's exclusive as in you're not getting it on a PS4 or a Switch. That doesn't necessarily mean it's exclusive. It's like mostly exclusive.
Right. And like the way they touted exclusive before everything, even if it was just like launch exclusive, like that's not a fucking exclusive, man. Like,
Yeah. Like you can say that it's a timed exclusive, and that's fine.
And that's
but like
fine,
handle it the way Nintendo did during their Indies Direct, where it was at the end, like, oh, and this is a timed exclusive on the Switch. Like that, don't put that up front. Don't make that your big flag waving thing. This is an exclusive. It's also timed. It's an exclusive.
look over here, pay no attention to the man over there. Well, and so much of their conference, like the Xbox One backwards compatibility,
That was my biggest gripe. That is not backwards compatibility.
Nope.
That is not what that term means. That doesn't mean you're putting an Xbox disc in there. That means that you're going to that's virtual console service.
Yep, that's all that is.
Download games. That is
You're
going to
have to pay for it again.
Compatibility. Like that was bugging the shit out of me.
It's intentionally misleading, and that's not okay.
I also have to call out. I don't remember if I addressed this the first time Tiff brought this up the show.
You did.
There was no point anywhere on this planet where Nintendo said, or any reputable source, or any source that I can find on the internet at all, and I've researched it again, nobody, except maybe some dude who walked into a store once, ever said that the Revolution was going to have multiple cartridge slots to be backwards compatible with your old Nintendo stuff. That was never going to be a thing.
It would have been
so
cool,
the fact that Tiffany lords this over the Wii as that was her big disappointment. Oh, I was excited for the Wii, and that because it was supposed to be this, but then it wasn't. It was never supposed to be that. Ever. That would have been insanity. That would have been complete and utter madness.
But it would have been backwards compatible for real.
Not
whatever the fuck Microsoft is doing.
Exactly. The Wii was backwards compatible because it played GameCube games. You could put a GameCube disc in there and it worked.
I never did. I was always so nervous. I never thought it would spit back out. I was like, no, this just doesn't, like everything I know about technology. This is not a thing I should do.
This is terrifying to me.
Yep, nope.
Oh, it's actually
never
quite
did
nice because you could then upscale them through the component settings, which is really cool.
Never did it. I was terrified. I was like, I'm never going to get my Zelda Master Quest disc back out. It's just not going to happen.
But that's the thing, PlayStation
That's
2,
backwards compatible. Yep.
PlayStation 2 was literally backwards compatible. The Wii U is literally backwards compatible.
One of the PlayStation 3s is.
That's
original
right. My
fat PlayStation 3
is backwards compatible. This is not backwards compatibility. Nope. This is selling me old shit.
Yep.
Which is fine. You can sell old shit. That's great. I love buying old shit.
Sure.
I buy my games tons of times. But don't call it backwards compatibility, you fucks.
Well, and did you see he came out in an interview like yesterday or the day before, and he was like, don't expect as many games as you might be hoping for. Because there's a lot of like licensing
exactly
issues.
Many as we're hoping for. There's like 10 Xbox games that are worth playing.
Jade Empire, kind of.
Panzer Dragoon Orta.
Which isn't going to happen. Because why would it? There's no reason for it to. Nobody, like... That would be the one that people would like, but it's going to be fucking Halo 1 and 2. Were there any other Xbox games? Other than Halo?
I'm going into my list right now. There's got to be other Xbox games that I give
Voodoo
a shit about.
Vince. Voodoo Vince was cool, but again, like, there's no...
Shit, I have 79 Xbox games. There's got to be something else worth playing. Come on here.
There's not... Crimson Skies.
Oh, yeah, Crimson Skies. That's a winner. Let's see. Wow, this is all garbage. Like fucking Blinks and BMX Triple X and Breakdown. It's not going to be the Burnout games. I mean, I guess they could put Burnout on there,
but that's the thing. He specifically said, So many of those original games are tied up with licensing that we didn't do well on the first Xbox.
Yeah.
Like he specifically said, they're third-party games that the licensing we did not do well.
Castlevania Curse of Darkness, Doom 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Dynasty Warriors 4.
oh, Jesus.
Hook that shit up. Fable, that's probably going to be there.
Fable will be there. Like all of the Xbox, like the
Fusion
Microsoft.
Frenzy. Yo, Fusion Frenzy was kind of fun.
It was, but like all of the
Grab
Microsoft.
by the Ghoulies. Grab by the Ghoulies is already on the Rare replay.
So that doesn't count.
Malice.
First party, sure.
Fucking Malice.
But like,
remember Malice when it was going to be like starring Gwen Stefani, and then like it got delayed for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And came out as a budget title that nobody cared about.
Yeah.
Jeez, that game was going to be such a big deal. I bet Ninja Gaiden will be there. That was really big on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
It would be awesome if the Otage games were there. Otage
That would
1
be
and
really
2,
cool.
Those games are freaking cool, and nobody played them.
I played them. I have them. I might even
great.
consider getting an Xbox One S, as in Sam, to play some of the older shit that I have. If I could just pop a disc in and like maybe I might check out nothing else, because nothing else fucking excited me about it. Like, and that's the thing that really sucks. Again, like I know I've been criticized by listeners in the past for bashing Nintendo, really for just being a Sony fanboy and bashing the other companies, but like I want Nintendo to do well. I want a Switch, and I do if I can play Metroid Prime without motion controls. But I also want Microsoft to do well. It's only better for all of us if the rest of these companies are doing well, but like I looked at that Microsoft press conference, and other than Crackdown and Sea of Thieves, I couldn't tell you a damn difference between any of the other games. And the only reason I could tell you a difference between Crackdown and Sea of Thieves is because Crackdown's had fucking Terry Crews in it. Because that's still a good idea in 2017. And,
hey, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is still a popular show.
Yeah, but come on. They were like... And Sea of Thieves looked awful. Like, the water looked great, you know? But like all of those other shooters... I can't tell you a difference between any of them. Not because I don't want to, but like when I look at the Sony conference and the shooters that they had were Call of Duty and Destiny, there's a very big difference in those two games. I can tell you the difference between those two games. I can tell you the difference in the setting and the gun and like all of that. But none of that stuff in Microsoft stood out. None of it did. And the stuff that they...
I've not a lot of memories of it.
And like Crackdown is sure, it's fun, but it's not spending $560 to play the new Crackdown game.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like,
I'll want to get an Xbox One in my life eventually, just because I like to have all the consoles and have my options open to me. And like, I do kind of want to play Killer Instinct. I've said it before. I'm a big Killer Instinct fan, and watching tournament play on that game is fun, and it's kind of opened my eyes to what that game is capable of. I still think the character designs are straight hot garbage, but the game structure itself is really cool. I have to give that more credit than I did, but that's like a game.
But by the time you get around to getting an Xbox One, the servers aren't going to be online for that anymore.
I'm not going to play it online anyway. Play it offline until I get bored.
But you know what I mean? Like
games. But yeah,
the big draw of that game isn't even going to be there. And I can't think of one game, honestly, that is exclusive to Microsoft that I would buy an Xbox for because I'm going to buy Cuphead on my computer. And that's their biggest problem. They don't have any console exclusives. There's no reason for me to get one. Computers are ubiquitous in most American households at this point. And eventually, even if you don't have one today, the computer, the highest of the high Alienware computer that is out right now, the equivalent of that in like 2 years will be $200 at Walmart. Because that's how computers work. That's how technology moves. There's literally no reason to have an Xbox One.
Yeah, I don't have one,
and that's a shame. And I don't know that having like a console exclusive that is not also available on a Windows platform is the way to go for that. Because I think that would then piss off a whole other section of gamers. But where's the value here?
Yeah,
I just don't see it. You know,
they haven't sold me on an Xbox One. I mean, I am more or less sold on a PlayStation 4. If this was 10 years ago, I'd have a PS4 because I would have that kind of disposable income. Now I have to be far more selective with what I buy, but at the same time,
your children have ruined your life.
That pretty much. You're gonna listen to this when they're older, and they're gonna hate me. They'll hate me long before that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give it a. How old's John?
He's gonna be 4 in September.
Oh, give him a week.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. Take his toys away.
I mean, I've looked at the PlayStation and been like, boy, I sure would like to have one of those in my house. I would really like to have a PS4, especially now that Dragon Ball game is coming out. Holy shit! But
it's just I mean,
Xbox One is like, yeah, I'd like to have it because I'd like to be able to play Killer Instinct. But I'm with you. There's no stack of games on there that I'm itching to play. Like, I want to play the Battletoads stage in Shovel Knight. That's not worth $400 to me.
Nope. And that's the thing. Like, I am a Sony fanboy and have been a Sony fanboy. But if God of War and Horizon and the Uncharted series and this new Spider-Man game were coming out on the Xbox One instead, that's the system I'd have.
I loved my 360. You know, I go where the games are. And that's the thing. Like, most people are going to go where the games are.
And that's why PlayStation is winning right now. It's just
because they have all the games.
It's just not even a comparison. And that's a shame, you know? It really is. I want them to be awesome. I really do. But fuck it. I'm going to get a Switch instead.
Xbox One owners seem happy with their systems. So good on them.
Yeah, some people still think popped collars and Axe body spray are a good idea. Good for you.
That is very true.
I've met those people.
I have to say, the only cool shirts that I wore back in the day were super awesome Dragon Ball shirts. Thank you very much.
Kris, they weren't awesome. I'm sorry.
No, they weren't. They are awesome. They still are.
Nope.
I have them in my closet right now. I'm going to fucking wear one. I'm not going to wear one in too many games. I can't. I'm working.
They're so bad. I mean, I love you to death. I do.
I'm wearing them to Garden State Comic Fest because I'm not working that show. I'll be working the Stone Age Gamer booth on too many games, so I have like a shirt I'm supposed to wear. But
nope.
Better believe I'm wearing that Dragon Ball shirt.
It was never cool.
It's always cool.
No. Objectively, it isn't. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
So I was going to do this whole thing where I wanted to compare like how we did on our guesses, but it's 10:18 and we didn't even take a break.
Nope.
So you have listened to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Thanks for sticking around, and that's our show. Yeah, that's it. I'm cooked. It's after my bedtime.
I'm not. I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
I do have to go to work tomorrow.
Let's keep going.
Birthday.
Is it?
Yeah, tomorrow's
I
my
thought
birthday.
it was. Oh, fuck, it is.
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is anymore. Happy birthday, Kris.
Oh, thanks, man.
I forgot.
I appreciate that. It's gonna be a pretty normal day.
How old are you now?
I'm turning 36.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right.
If my math is right.
I'm
pretty sure I'm turning 36.
Close to 40.
Yep, I'm getting there.
God damn it.
I'll be done with this basement by the time I'm 40.
No, you won't. It's all right.
Oh,
though.
yeah, I will. And that's our show. Join us next week, unless you're at Too Many Games, when we'll be doing our annual panel, this time featuring our usual $20 buying stuff challenge and this month's 10, 20, 30. There is a distinct possibility that Dan won't be joining us at least live. Maybe we can Skype him in or something. Because technology is a thing that exists. I literally had that idea right now.
Let's do that. Let's make that the
work.
plan. Okay.
We should make that a plan. I'll talk to Dean. We'll work out something where we can have a screen with your face.
We don't even have to go that far. I will try and find like a thrift store around here to buy something.
Slap an iPhone down on the table, which will make Dan headroom.
There. Oh yes. Never mind. I'm way into this idea now.
Oh, I love it. Once again, you can get in touch with us at mail@geekade.com, as well as all flavors of social media that we inhabit. You can like us on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Geekade, subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels for all our latest video content, and follow us on Twitter at @_Geekade. You can also find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Geekade Kris, that's Geekade Kris, and Dan is available at...
Well, I wish it were at Dan Headroom now, but it's at Geekade Dan.
If you're interested, it's going to be the best thing ever. If you're interested in more information about anything we discussed here tonight, be sure to check out our show notes. And while you're at it, you can also subscribe to this and any of our other wonderful podcasts on iTunes or Stitcher. Or if you're super nice, you can leave us a review, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. Again, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. And we'd like to thank Mark TDK Knight for our show's theme. You can check him out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp, or his website, which we will also have a link to in the show notes. Again, always remember to keep your eyes on Geekade.com, where we post new content all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All day,
I'm doing it right
day.
now.
Are you?
Day, 24/7. That's not true at all. But we try, damn it.
We do.
So that's it. We'll see you guys at the panel.
I'm excited about my top 10 for 31 Days of Halloween, which we probably have to start planning pretty soon.
We still have to plan the Pete-a-thon, dude. I'm not even sniffing 31 Days of Halloween yet.
Good point.
Goddamn
when is that again?
When is
Pete-a-thon? August.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. I'll be back from Colorado. All right.
Cool. Big stuff in the future, everybody. Just a quick little update on our summer series. I'm probably going to push that back a week because I'm going to need a little bit more time with the games. I'm working on Newtopia 2. That game is talky as fuck, man.
It's so good, though. I fucking love it.
I'm enjoying it. I'll save all my thoughts on it until then, and I'm barely anywhere in Fazanadu, so...
That's all right. I am playing Fazanadu with my wife on her cell phone, because I would have no other way to get through it.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to bring up a walkthrough for it, too.
Yep.
I'm not into figuring that out. Fortunately, I don't have that problem with Utopia because everyone tells you everything all the time.
Go 7 screens to the right, then up. I know, it's very... All right, fuck. We're getting into a whole other thing.
Whole other podcast. All right.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer, episode 157. I am your host, Karen Randazzo.
On behalf of not Karen and myself, keep playing games.
Kris, we really have to stop lying to the listeners. You know I'm Karen.
I've been married to you this whole time. Who's Tiff?
I don't even know.